this is Paula from CQURE Academy, and this is our second episode of CQURE Hacks Weekly. Today I'm going to talk about the local admin password management, a very nice solution by Microsoft that will allow you to manage local administrator accounts in order to prevent a couple of things, for example, pass-the-hash attacks. Today, I will demonstrate how to implement local admin password solution or local admin password management. In general, we call it LAPS. And what we're going to do, we're going to first of all install it on the domain controller and on the endpoints, and I will show you how to configure it with the PowerShell, how to configure the group policy, and effectively how it works, including grabbing the hashes. Anyway, if you want to see the full episode, go to CQURE Academy blog and you're going to find the link in the description. Let's start.
Okay guys, so you should see my screen right now. Let's learn how to implement LAPS. But before we do it, I would like to show you where the problem is by performing the pass-the-hash attack with our customized tool, which is the customized Mimikatz. And well, it will be important to understand the problem first so that we get the solution later. Okay, we are ready to go. First thing we will do, I will elevate using PSExec tool, using -s to run it as a local system, -i to make it interactive, -d to run the cmd.exe in a separate window. The link to PSExec you're going to find in the blog below. So let's do it. We've got the console running as a local system. Very good. So I need that in order to get the hashes from the local SAM database. That, by the way, represents the situation where someone could be in when being, for example, a domain user and at the same time being a member of the local administrators. In order to perform the pass-the-hash, you need to be somehow a local administrator. Okay, so we've got a CQ Hashdump version 2. This is our tool that we wrote. You can find the link as well in the blog post below so that you can download it, so make sure that you will have it. So we've got a CQ Hashdump version 2 and then SAMDump in order to get the list of the hashes. Very good. So what we see over here, especially this value here, it's something that we call NT-hash. I'm not going right now into much details here because we're going to have a separate video that is devoted directly to pass-the-hash, and we're going to cover it in a much more details. So let's just focus on the problem here and then on the solution. So we've got this NT-hash. We call it NT-hash. So I will copy it. This is the same, so it will be comfortable if I copy it like this. And we're going to use this to perform the pass-the-hash. So if you check out who we are over here, we are Freddy Krueger. And this is, as I already mentioned, the local administrator being a domain user as well at the same time. And we will verify if on some other machines the local administrator password, which literally I don't know what's that because the only thing I see is the NT-hash, if it's the same. And if it's the same, then I should be able to, of course, authenticate. Yes, so this is a single sign-on that we are leveraging over here. Very good. So let's dig into our custom version of Mimikatz. So it looks like this. Thanks to Benjamin Delpy, who wrote an amazing tool, and thanks to our cooperation with Benjamin, we have our own personal team edition with a couple of options here. One of the things that you can do, but you can also do it in a public version, is to perform the pass-the-hash. So let's do it. Privilege debug to be able to interact with, for example, local security authority subsystem, so lsass.exe process, and secure LSA, PTH for pass-the-hash, user, administrator, and then domain. I don't know the domain, and I'm not, well, I am in the domain, but this is a local user, so local host, so we're going to do the pass-the-hash locally, and then NTLM, and then we specify the hash that we know, enter. So this is kind of funny because if we do who am I in this new console that we have just opened, let me move the console so that you can see the whole attack background. Here we can see that we are Freddy Krueger. well, for real, we are actually local administrator. We've got a token of the local administrator, but a command prompt will not show us this way. So we should be ready for now. And in order to jump farther, yeah, so do the hop, hop, hop between workstations and servers, I will use psexec for that. By the way, remember that psexec within the license, it's mentioned that this is not a hacking tool. Yeah, so as long as we play in order to understand, that's good. But just to make this one little note here. So we've got a psexec 1010 to 201, or 202 will be better. So we are getting access to this 202 server, and we're gonna have the remote command prompt opened. Let's try to do it. Very good. Hostname. As you see, we are on the other server, and now this is the best. Who am I? We are here an administrator. So that proves the point that we were previously an administrator, and we performed the passy hash thanks to the single sign-on possibility in Windows. Okay, very good. So how to mitigate that? Well, in order to mitigate that, we need to install labs. We do it and we install it on the managed machines and also on the domain controller. Let me do it from the managed machines first. So we've got our labs downloaded from the Microsoft website. Labs is free, by the way, so you can definitely freely implement it, and it's very easy to implement it. Let's perform the installation. So next, we accept the license. We only install here the group policy extension since it's a managed box. And when we are installing, of course, And when we are installing, of course, I need to say what kind of requirements we've got for labs. Well, first of all, Active Directory needs to be Windows Server 2003 SP1 or anything higher. And from the managed endpoints perspective, Windows Vista with the current service pack, or Windows Server even 2003 with the current service pack. So it's not that bad. Okay, so we are all set. Now it's time to switch to the domain controller and configure everything from there. Okay, so we are right now on a domain controller, and what I need to do is to first install labs on the domain controller here, and I will install a little bit more components because I will also install PowerShell module that we're going to use for implementation and management. And I will also use, so let me accept the agreement, the FAT client and the group policy GP editor templates. The reason why is because of course I have to manage it somehow on the endpoints. So let's do it. And we install, of course, all of the features. So this is all good. Next, install, and we are ready. In the meantime, because this is actually quite quick, we don't need to wait for too long, but in the meantime, let me show you over here. We've got PWD clients OU that I've created before, and we've got as well here Windows 8.1 client computer account created, and there's also, but it doesn't have to be there, I just put it over here so that it's convenient for you to see, help this group. These are the guys that will be managing our passwords of the local administrators within this OU. Okay, let's see what's the status. Okay, this is all good, all installed, so we can perform the implementation. Good. So I have started a PowerShell over here, and the first thing we need to do, import module adm pwd.ps. Yes, so this is the one. Well, you don't even have to do that, but I want to show you everything step by step so that it's all nice and clear. If we do get command adm pwd, let's do it maybe this way. This is the whole set of commands that you've got for the labs. That's not much, as you see, so that's not too bad. Implementation is also very simple. The first thing we need to do is to create two new attributes, which is this one, adm pwd expiration time, which sets up an expiration time for the password, and also the password itself. Now the next step, we need to specify the computer rights and also the user rights. So we need to specify which computers will be managed. And for that, we use this particular CMDLET. So let's do it. And then we specify org unit, PWD, clients, and here we make sure that all the computers within this OU have self-permission to update its own attributes. Yeah, so we are talking, for example, here about the password. The next two operations that we will do is to specify who will be able to manage in that level, particularly the passwords of these computers. So we specify set ADM PWD read password permission to where organizational unit PWD clients, and who is allowed to do this. Let's say, let's make it nicely, secured help desk group. Lovely. And the same operation, so arrow up, but not read, but reset. Perfect. So this is the implementation. In the meantime, we need to make sure that none of the additional people that we've got in the production environment are allowed to read that password. So we don't want any unauthorized operations over here. And in order to do that, within the @cedit, within the default naming context, you go to the properties of the OU that you want to manage, and then you go to security, and then advanced, and then you find on this list people that you don't want to see their local administrators' passwords. So you can choose, for example, let's say account operators. Yes, hypothetically, we go edit, and this group that we have over here, it has to have unselected, so you have to clear it, the all extended rights. Yeah, so basically this is in order to make sure that particular group that you choose is not able to read the values of the attribute, the one that we had, which was the MS, MCS, ADM, PWD. So this is clear, which it's okay. But for example, if I will be back over here, if we do this for, let's say, our help desk that we had, so we've got help desk, we can verify, of course, what the help desk can do. And in this case, well, this is all clear, but we can verify, of course, what help desk can read, and we can verify one by one what kind of options, of course, all these accounts have. Okay, so this is good. And step by step, we're able to verify who has access to the certain attributes. Okay, so we can give or remove access, depends on the situation, but for sure, what we can do, we can verify by using find extended rights. Yes, who has extended rights on the particular OU, which is PWD clients, and as you see over here, one of the groups is help desk. Yeah, so this is all good, and we are able to spot who is able to read that particular attribute. Okay, we are all good. This is all good. Now, when we have implemented this, the last step is to dig in once again. So this is all good, and the last step is to implement a group policy. So we've got our PWD clients, create a GPO in this domain and link it here. Let's name it labs. We got it. Edit, and let's jump immediately to the setting, which is computer configuration, policies, administrative templates, and then we've got our labs. And password settings allow us to configure that we should have the password, for example, with a certain length, let's say 20, change every 30 days, why not? And over here, we specify enable local administrator, local admin password management enabled, apply, very good. So we've got these two policies configured, and then we are ready to update the policy on the client level. So let's switch to the client. And now when we are on the client, we can do gp update /force, and the policy is getting updated. And in the meantime, we can check if the password for the local administrator was generated. So let's see, and let's go to the if the password was generated. So right now we are on the domain controller, and we can go to Active Directory, Users and Computers, to the properties of the Windows 8.1 client. We go to Attribute Editor. I have filtered all the values that have all the attributes that have values, and here we can see that the password has been generated for the local administrator. So that's the one that right now we will be using. Of course, there is also this client that I was mentioning briefly. So this is the Labs UI, where we are able to specify where the what the password is and what time the password expires. We're able to set the certain expiration time. We can set it that, let's say it was some in the past, it could be this. So the password reset was successful, and effectively we are able to control the password this way. Yes, and when we are ready on the Windows 8 client, we are able to check if the password was resetted. Now we are back on the client. We can do one more time gp update /force, and let's verify how it works from the hash perspective. Is it changed? Yes. So it means, of course, it proves the point that the password is changed too. Let me remind you which hash we used for the passDhash attack. It's for the local administrator. It started from the E19. So right now we can check with the CQ hashtag sumdump. Yes, and we've got the 9C, 53C, and so on. That proves the point that the password was actually changed. Okay, so you have learned right now how to implement labs. We didn't talk about auditing, which is a subject for the next video maybe, but this shows you the technical steps, how we are able to make sure that the labs will be working, and the rest of the things are little very important details that you are able also to set up after the implementation.
Okay, so that's about it. If you like the episode, don't forget to follow us on social media, sign up for the newsletter, because very soon we're gonna share with you another interesting episode. Thank you and see you!